Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're doing something wild. We are going to simulate a descent into a black hole to really understand the collapse of reality itself. I mean, have you ever wondered what it would actually feel like to fall into the darkest objects in the universe? Well, let's find out. So let's just dive right into this immersive journey and put you directly in the center of the ultimate cosmic mystery. We're going to explore exactly what happens to your body, your perception of time, and honestly, the very fabric of your reality when you cross that boundary where all known physics just stops making sense. Section 1, the points of no return, the silent crossing. All right, so your journey begins as you drift toward the darkness. And at first, space looks almost entirely normal, right? But reality is already distorting. You're approaching the event horizon. That's the invisible boundary where escape becomes impossible, even for light itself. And notice the word invisible there. There is no physical wall. There's no sudden snap, no impact, no warning siren going off. It is a completely silent crossing into a place where physics just completely stops behaving the way you understand it. The truly mind-bending part of this moment is that once you pass this invisible threshold, absolutely nothing in the universe can pull you back. From your perspective, everything might seem totally fine for a brief moment, but by the time you realize what is actually happening, you're already gone. Moving on to Section 2, the warping of time, a rubber band of reality. Now, long before you even reach that silent boundary, gravity intensifies and actually begins to stretch time itself. Inside your own frame of reference, everything feels completely normal. Your heartbeat, your thoughts, your perception, it's all completely unchanged. But to a distant observer watching you from the outside universe, your movements would slow down as if you're trapped in freezing syrup. Mere seconds for you become minutes, hours, or even years for them. The difference between your time and the outside universe becomes so incredibly extreme that entire civilizations could rise and fall on Earth while you're literally still falling. And the crazy thing is, you wouldn't even know how disconnected you've become. Time isn't just slowing down here, it's breaking apart in ways the human mind was simply never meant to comprehend. Which brings us to Section 3, physical erasure and darkness, the violent descent. As you fall closer to the center, well, that peaceful silence ends pretty quickly. The gravitational pull on your feet becomes unimaginably stronger than the pull on your head, and this triggers a frankly bizarre process known to physicists as spaghettification. Your body begins to stretch with an unstoppable force. It's this surreal, horrifying moment where you're pulled into a long, thin line, and I mean it when I say no material in the known universe, not even the absolute strongest metals, can resist this sheer gravitational power. So this isn't just a physical stretching. The uneven gravity grips you, pulling you into that thin line, until it literally leads to complete atomic erasure. You wouldn't just be torn apart. The stretching just keeps going until you're reduced to mere atoms and particles. You go from a living, breathing human being to complete physical erasure. Nothing recognizable is left behind. And at this same immense depth, the very light around you begins to behave super strangely. The black hole's gravity bends light around it, creating a warped halo known as gravitational lensing. If you could somehow look around, you would see the stars and galaxies completely twisted into highly unnatural shapes. They form this bizarre, glowing ring around the growing darkness right ahead of you. But then, the light from the universe behind you just begins to fade. It gets stretched into longer and longer wavelengths until it disappears completely. Colors shift, brightness dims, and eventually, everything just turns permanently dark. Your vision becomes entirely useless. You are falling into a void that consumes absolutely everything. And the universe you once knew, it's simply gone. Section 4. The final singularity, the collapse of reality. Past the event horizon, the basic rules that govern space and time, they no longer apply. Distances lose their meaning, and that leads us directly to the singularity. This is a point of infinite density at the very center. You can't try to swim or rocket your way out because every possible path now forces you deeper inward. You're no longer just moving through space. Space itself is collapsing around you toward a single, unavoidable, infinitely dense point. All known laws of physics collapse completely right here. So what happens at that exact point?
Well, nobody truly knows, but theories suggest your mass would be compressed into an infinitely small speck. And this isn't just death in the traditional biological sense. Concepts like size and physical structure completely vanish. It is the total annihilation of your identity, your matter, and your information. You just cease to exist in any definable form.
Section 5. The outside observer illusion. Suspended forever. Let's flip our perspective for a second. While you're undergoing physical erasure, anyone watching you from a safe distance experiences a completely different sequence of events. To the outside observer, you never actually fall in. As you approach the horizon, your image slows down, becoming redder and dimmer, until you appear completely frozen in place. You're just forever suspended at the edge of the black hole, never quite crossing over. This is incredibly unsettling to think about. It means two completely different realities exist at the very same time. There's one reality where you crossed into violent oblivion and were totally erased, and another reality for the observer where you just slowly faded and never made it inside at all. This split perception is a glaring spotlight on just how fundamentally broken our current understanding of the universe really is. And finally, Section 6. The ultimate information paradox. The deepest mystery. Even after your physical body is long gone, a profound scientific mystery remains concerning the very blueprint of your existence. See, physics dictates a fundamental rule. Information cannot be destroyed. The atomic blueprint of what makes the thing a thing simply must be conserved. Yet a black hole appears to do exactly the opposite. It destroys everything. So what happens to the information that made you you? This contradiction creates one of science's greatest, most hotly debated paradoxes. Scientists actually have a few competing theories for this. Some believe your unique information is somehow encoded on the 2D surface of the event horizon, almost like a giant hologram. Others propose it slowly escapes in a highly distorted form through something called Hawking radiation. Or it might simply be lost forever to the void, completely breaking the laws of physics as we know them. The crazy part is, we just don't know for sure.
Your essence might be smeared across the edge of a black hole, transformed into unrecognizable radiation, or just permanently deleted from the cosmos. As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a final haunting thought. Once you pass that event horizon, can anything of you ever truly exist again? Thanks for exploring the dark unknown with us today, and keep questioning the universe.